of that kind of got cut off. But as I was saying, so what does it mean if me and 134 other people decide we're gonna make house music? So and I was saying that it means that basically that the supply curve shifts to the right, as I already said that. So I'm gonna put this here like that because it's increasing from 50 people to 135 now, right? So it's increasing. Alright. And this one here, we already factored this one in, and we said this one decreased, right? So what this means now, excuse me, so what this means now is that right now, as things stand, if excuse me, if let's say the demand for house music was still 50 people, so that means if the demand was still at this curve here, that means that if the supply increased, that means that the price for house music would still be where it would still be just about the same price as they. So that means that if the demand for house music was 50 and it stayed the same, even if the supply had increased, we would still charge $30 for an EP, album or track, whatever it is we think we're charging here. You get what I'm saying? But we know that's not the case. We both know, and we all know that that's not the case. Not only did the supply increase, but the demand decreased. So that means that this curve here is shifted to the left and this one shifted to the right. So what does that mean then? So what is really happening in the industry is in actual fact that we are here. We are at this point here. That's where we are. So let me draw a line for that. So that's where we are as we stand in the industry, right there. And I'm gonna say that to make simple numbers. So that's gonna be P2, our third price. This was our initial price. This was after the decrease in the demand. We went there, and now after the increase in the supplies, on top of the decrease in demand, we're going from there and we're heading to $20. So that means that overall we shifted from there to here to there in terms of price charges, in terms of how much you're charging for our music. That's what that means. So that means that technically speaking, as a result of what's actually happening within the house scene, and we know that this is what's happening, and we all know it's the fact this is what's happening, that means that in actual fact, seeing as of this scenario here, house music, the price for house music and albums and tracks and whatever it might be should in fact be decreasing, and not just like by a small amount, but in actual fact it should be decreasing to a point where, because remember, not that we're not trying to sabotage artists here. We ourselves as upcoming producers are potential artists that are just not yet recognized. So we also want to be able to make music and make money out of our music. You get what I'm saying? So it's not a case of I'm trying to sabotage people. It's not a case of I'm trying to bring down the industry in any way by this video here. But I'm simply educating people and I'm schooling people, and I'm saying that this is what the supply and demand curve means. It means that when the demand is low, then you need to decrease the price so that you can encourage the demand. You can encourage these people here to buy more of the product. And then when they start buying more of the product and they're happy, and when you've encouraged people to buy the product, then again the price will increase. Then the price can gradually increase again. So what would happen if we encourage people? So let's say that the people. So let's say we decrease our price to here right now. So let's say that the industry actually listens and say, okay, you know what, fine. Let's see if really this is true. Let's say that we do decrease our price for an album, EP or track to 20 Rand. Let me see how that works out. Let me see how that works out to let me test out your theory. And they do that. What's going to happen is that you're going to find that the amount of people is no longer going to be 20 that are going to be buying music, because now it's like it's very affordable. Most people can actually buy music now. Most will be willing to go buy it because it's actually quite cheap. So this number here will not only be 20, but it might end up being 50, which means it shifts to there. If this curve shifts back to there, what does that mean? It means that the price moves from 20 to where? To 50 again. So that means that if this guy can encourage, if the producers or the suppliers of house music can decrease the price of music right now to somewhere around there, they'll be able to encourage these guys to buy music. And when these guys start buying music, then again they can gradually increase the price slowly till at that point there. And if people are still buying music at that point there, you never know, maybe we could reach a point where the demand is there and it's greater than the supply curve, to a point where this would be like D2 kind of thing, because this is already D1, where this is greater than the supply curve. The amount of people supplying music is there. So this is what will happen, right? So the supply, this is your demand curve, this is your supply curve, and since the supply curve is greater than your demand curve because it's on the rise, then that means the price would increase to there. That means the price will increase to there, and then they could be charging. You'll find that they'll be charging this much share, which could be maybe $80 for an album. You get what I'm saying? Which could be like $80 for an album, or however much it is. But first, in order to be able to reach this point here, we need to go to this point here. We need to be able to encourage consumerism. We need to be able to encourage people to actually go out and say, I'm willing to buy an album. We need to be able to say, dude, here's an album, it's cheap, it's 20 rand, you can afford to buy it. If you got 20 rand, spend that 20 rand instead of going buy airtime or credit for your phone, whatever. Here it is. Buy my album, please. I've been working on this, please buy it. People don't want to support you. Find a way of promoting your album good enough, and people don't want to buy it for 20 rand. Who's not willing to sacrifice 20 rand? 20 rand is a standard entrance fee to a club. So if people are willing to pay 20 rand to go into a club, I'm pretty sure people are willing to pay 20 rand for an album on any day. Anybody can say, what, 20 rand an album? I'm gonna buy it, because the fact is, right now, at the piracy scale, at the piracy level, in terms of CD piracy, those guys out there, in terms of, I'm speaking in terms of South Africa, so most of you might probably won't relate, but there's guys out there at the 60 rank that we all know stand in the corner of the street and sell you an entire album for 15 rand and for 20 rand and for whatever price it might be. I'm saying, let's cut down our prices. Let's not charge 150 rand for an album. Take that down. Take that to $80. Take that down to something that a layman, anyone, any ordinary person that has cash, will be able to afford, and then will be willing to buy your album. And when you can do that, you can encourage people to buy music and increase consumerism and increase the demand for house music. Then we'll find ourselves in this situation here, where the demand is greater than the supply, and as a result, then we'll be making more money from our house music. So we could find ourselves in this situation here where the demand is greater than the supply, and then the overall result being that everybody wins. People are now back to buying, in the buying spirit of music. Everybody's happy, people are buying, the producers are happy, and everything else is there. But in order for us to reach that, we have to be willing to go down there. And I'm just saying that it's something that producers and record companies and everybody else needs to consider in order to encourage consumerism, because I feel like the music industry is probably the only one that's just not there. That's just not there. That's just not willing to take things down a bit and decrease prices when necessary. It's like they have this fixed price range that they say they're charging at this, and that's it, and they're not willing to decrease. And that's basically affecting things. That's affecting things, and you can say it doesn't, but it is affecting things. And there's a whole lot of other variables that could be in play at this. I know very well this is not a fixed thing. This is not just the way straightforward as is, but this just about covers the basics of what could actually, the potential that we have. If only we were willing to sacrifice just a bit of cash and not be greedy, and just sacrifice a bit of cash and put ourselves in that point there, and hopefully get up to and encourage people to actually get ourselves back up at that point there. To go down and say I'm gonna sell at $20 is not to submit to defeat and say that I'm done, I'll sell it at 5 rand. I understand there's a lot of effort that goes into this. I'm a producer myself. There's a lot of hours and work that go into making a track and all those things there. There's a lot of it there. There's a lot of effort. You put in a lot of work to this. So it's kind of hard to just give out something as if you didn't put in any effort to it. But then at the same time, it's pointless to put in a lot of effort and only sell to 20 people when you can put in enough effort and sell like to 100 other people. When you've encouraged people to actually go and buy music. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you need to get to. That's the point we need to get to. The whole point of the video being that that's a market. That's what's happening in the house scene. That's basically just an overview of what's really happening. It's not realistic. It's not precise. There's a lot of things that I could have missed out. But the whole point is, as an upcoming producer, is that you understand what you expect. You understand that as you're making music, you're doing it out of love. So when you get to the top and you do get that big deal, you get signed or whatever happens, don't now turn around and say that music is not selling. What the hell is this? This is not what I expected. I'm giving this information to you right now. I'm not at the top, but I know this information because it's straightforward. It's straightforward. Right now, releasing music is just a mere case of staying relevant. It's a mere case of I want to stay relevant, and I want to be, and I want my name to still be known, so as to not lose the brand and still get gigs. And that's just about the only place where you can actually make money now, through gigs, just people, buying tickets to come see you DJ or something like that. Other than that, it's very hard to make money in the music industry, and it's getting harder the more things are accessible. With smartphones and everything else, you just send somebody a link on Facebook, they just buy some data, bandwidth for those my international friends, and that's it. And they can download the track, and they can download the entire album, until maybe the artist realizes and takes the link down. Till then, you already screwed. Maybe the link has gotten over 10,000 downloads. There could have been 10,000 people. So we need to encourage the market. We need to stimulate the market. In order to do that, we need to take the prices down a bit, and I'm just encouraging guys to do that. I don't know how, but I just encourage that people do that. So figure that out and see what you do, man. But other than that, man, like, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, follow all that just there. Hope this video is very helpful to you guys and give you a bit of insight into the supply demand curve and a bit of economics, and how basically pricing of things or pricing of goods and stuff works, and all that just there. But yeah, man, shop my friends.